You've heard of unemployed. Hell, during the summer of freshman year, I took a job with Aflac cold calling CEOs to sell them employee benefits just to avoid not having a job. But there's a semi-new phenomena, overemployed, whereby you have more than one full-time job, and not in the sense where you're moonlighting as a janitor, but rather doing both at the same time without either of them knowing. Or, if you're this kid, having 11 jobs and making $1.3 million a year. Now, how is this even possible if most of us don't even have time to complete the work for our one job? It's an intriguing idea, but doesn't work in practice. If only we could talk to someone that's done it. I did it. I was overemployed for 3 years and never worked past 5 p.m. In this video, we'll talk through the best jobs for overemployment and step-by-step for how to manage and optimize for both. Even if you don't plan on being overemployed, just this new framework for thinking about your job can free up time to give you more of your life back. This can be to change your career, pursue a hobby, or even pick up a second job, or a third, or a fourth, or an 11th. Welcome to Every Second, where I, a chronic over-optimizer, try to distill actionable advice through my own trials and tribulations on how to get more from life. Specifically in this case, making more money without dedicating that much more time. To do so, we will need I stumbled onto this subreddit in 2020, mid-lockdown. I'm working remotely for a financial company I won't name, but it rhymes with Terrell Bench. And I'm reading about kids who are making 200, 300K. Here I am working a job I don't care about. I'm not trying to climb the corporate ladder, and I know it's temporary. I see a way out of the rat race. Work the same amount of hours, but get paid double. For starters, this can work for the vast majority of jobs. There is no perfect job, but this is a list of jobs I've seen work for overemployment, with these being the jobs I chose to target. After stumbling on this community, I dedicated the next 6 months to finding a job. In a future video, I will talk through cheat codes for getting hired. I've done many interviews, and I've gotten offers from around 30% of the companies. Now, I'm not the smartest nor the most qualified, but the general themes for the jobs are giant companies. The more bloated, the better. Antiquated technology, filled with old people, and most importantly, boring. You can do this with FANG companies if you're a software developer, but I find it's better to blend into boring companies. It's better if it's remote. Now, you can do it in person, but you run the risk of being found out much more easily. I tried it, and the stress level was immense. It can't require too much of your time. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the job is easy, but rather some jobs over time you get so good at that it doesn't require that much effort. It's sort of like when you're learning how to type. You start off with a low words per minute. You have to look at your fingers while typing and you make a lot of mistakes and hit the backspace often. Then, over time, you learn the shortcuts to delete words faster and which fingers should be typing what keys. After not so long, you're typing above 100 words per minute. Essentially, to be overemployed, you need to be able to complete things way faster than people anticipate, and this comes from experience, and you were hired to do something. Then usually, the longer you stay at the job, the more we end up doing. You should be doing just what you're hired for and nothing more. And if you don't know what that something is, ask. At my first job, I literally asked my boss to write out what I should be doing to provide the most value to the company. Once you know this, start to restrict your scope down to just what you were hired for. This can mean delegating the work, or if people come to you with things outside of your scope, say no. Don't feel bad. Politely just tell them that you don't have the bandwidth. You can go even one step further and recommend who they can reach out to solve the problem. Then you're seen as helpful even though you did nothing. And when you are doing things, say you're tasked with making a PowerPoint presentation. Now, you know it will take you only 4 hours, but say you'll have it done by the end of the week. If you really need to, ask the assignee when they expect it to be done by, and if they know you to be a busy person, they will give you an unreasonable amount of time. People are used to inefficiencies. Promotions are not always a good thing. Yes, you get paid more, but you're also given more work. Tell your boss that you want to stay as an individual contributor. This means that you won't be managing people. If you have management experience in the past, tell them that it wasn't for you. At my first job, I was offered a promotion that meant instead of overseeing projects on one team, I would be given a second team, meaning double the workload for about 20% more pay. We now value our time much more highly, and we know that we could be doing more with it. Do the math for your job, it usually isn't worth it. A typical 9-to-5 worker only really works for an hour or two per day. You may think you do more, but actual head-down, uninterrupted work, and not pseudo work, is very minimal. So your superpower will be in carving out head-down work time. Scheduling is your best friend. Each morning, compare your calendars and specifically carve out time and physically schedule blocks that you will be doing head down work. 1 or 2 3-hour blocks can finish a week's worth of work if you're undistracted. When you're done with your work, never ask for more. This sounds obvious, but I just have to say it. Plan to leave both jobs at your normal hours so you can still have a life outside of it. The classic saying that work will expand to the time you give it. So give yourself less time than you think you will need, and it will give you deadline pressure to find creative ways to finish things faster. Now remember, you can't be overemployed forever, so just like at a startup, have an exit plan. It will burn you out after some time. I told myself I would do it for 3 years, not increase my standards of living, and bank and invest the second salary. Then, once the date rolled around, I would quit and make YouTube videos. So here we are. Hopefully you learned something. I certainly had fun making it. Comment which video you'd like to see. I will make whichever receives the most likes.